Welcome to Biography with Plutarch, where we delve into the lives of extraordinary individuals to uncover the essence of their character and the timeless lessons they impart. Today, we embark on a fascinating journey through the life of John Lennon, a man whose music, art, and activism continue to inspire and influence generations. Born on October 9, 1940, in Liverpool, England, John Winston Lennon would grow into a creative force, leaving an indelible mark on the world. As we step into the vibrant city of post-war Liverpool, the sounds of American rock and roll and traditional British folk fill the air, weaving a rich cultural tapestry that would later influence Lennon's eclectic musical style. The city, though battered by the Blitz, was alive with energy, its resilience and determination palpable in every corner. It was amidst this backdrop of rebirth and creativity that John Lennon's life began to take shape. The sound of sirens, the smell of smoke, and the feeling of uncertainty would become all too familiar for John in the years to come. This dramatic entrance into the world set the tone for a life marked by both turmoil and transformation. Lennon's early childhood was marked by instability and loss. His father, Alfred Lennon, a merchant seaman, was absent for much of John's life, and his parents eventually separated when John was just 5 years old. The pain of abandonment would leave an indelible scar on Lennon's emotional landscape, fostering in him a deep-seated need for love and acceptance. He would often struggle with feelings of insecurity and rejection, which would later manifest in his music and personal relationships. After the separation, John moved to Mendips, the home of his mother's sister, Mimi Smith, where he would spend most of his childhood. The warm and welcoming atmosphere of the Smith household provided a sense of stability and comfort for young John. Mimi, a strict but loving guardian, played a pivotal role in shaping Lennon's early years, encouraging his creative pursuits while instilling in him a strong sense of discipline and responsibility. The influence of Mimi Smith cannot be overstated. She was a constant presence in John's life, offering guidance, support, and unwavering love. Her no-nonsense approach to parenting helped shape John's resilience and determination, traits that would serve him well in his future endeavors. The Smith household was not overly indulgent, and John's upbringing was fairly traditional for the time, with an emphasis on education and discipline. However, it was during these formative years that Lennon developed a keen interest in art and music, laying the groundwork for his future as a visionary artist. One of John's earliest memories was of drawing and sketching, often spending hours lost in his own creative world. Mimi would encourage his artistic pursuits, recognizing the therapeutic value of creativity in helping John cope with the emotional turmoil of his early years. As he grew older, Lennon's fascination with music began to take center stage. He would spend hours listening to the radio, mesmerized by the sounds of Elvis Presley, Chuck Berry, and Little Richard. The discovery of rock and roll music had a transformative effect on the young John Lennon, providing an outlet for his emotions and energy. Lennon attended Dovedale Primary School, where he met his first friend, Pete Shotton, with whom he shared adventures and mischief. Their friendship was built on a foundation of laughter, creativity, and a shared sense of curiosity about the world around them. As they explored the streets of Liverpool, John and Pete would often talk about their dreams and aspirations, laying the groundwork for a lifelong bond that would withstand the tests of time and fame. The move to Quarry Bank High School marked a significant period in Lennon's development, both academically and creatively. It was here that his rebellious streak began to manifest, often challenging authority and pushing boundaries, traits that would later become hallmarks of his public persona. John's humor, wit, and sharp tongue would often get him into trouble, but they also earned him a reputation as a charismatic and confident individual. The formation of the Quarrymen in 1956, with friends Pete Shotton, Eric Griffiths, and Len Gary, marked the beginning of Lennon's musical journey. These early performances, often at local parties and gatherings, were crucial in shaping John's stage presence and songwriting skills. As they played their way through the Liverpool music scene, the Quarrymen began to attract attention, with John's unique voice and charisma drawing crowds and inspiring a loyal following. The historical context of post-war Britain played a significant role in shaping John Lennon's worldview. Growing up amidst the austerity and social change of the late 1940s and 1950s, Lennon was exposed to a unique blend of traditional values and emerging cultural shifts. The influence of American culture, particularly music, further broadened his perspectives, instilling in him a desire for freedom and self-expression that would define much of his life's work. The seeds of his future successes and challenges were sown in these early days as he navigated the complexities of family, friendship, and his burgeoning passion for music. As John Lennon's musical journey with the Quarrymen gained momentum, he met Paul McCartney at a church fete in Liverpool on July 6, 1957. This encounter would prove to be a pivotal moment in the history of popular music, as the two musicians began to collaborate and forge a songwriting partnership that would yield some of the most iconic songs of the 20th century. Lennon's unique voice, wit, and charisma meshed perfectly with McCartney's melodic sensibilities, creating a synergy that would drive the Beatles to unparalleled success. The Quarrymen's lineup underwent several changes before finally settling into the classic configuration of Lennon, McCartney, George Harrison, and Pete Best in 1960. The band's sound evolved significantly during this period, influenced by their experiences playing in Hamburg, Germany, where they honed their craft and developed a distinctive style that blended rockabilly, skiffle, and Merseybeat. Their performances at the Cavern Club in Liverpool, which began in February 1961, helped establish them as a major force on the local music scene. The Beatles' big break came in June 1962, when Brian Epstein, a local record store owner, saw them perform at the Cavern Club and offered to manage the band. Epstein's guidance and vision played a crucial role in shaping the Beatles' image and securing them a recording contract with Parlophone Records. On June 6, 1962, the Beatles auditioned for George Martin at EMI Studios in London, marking the beginning of a fruitful collaboration that would result in some of the most innovative and influential music of the 20th century. As the band's popularity grew, they found themselves at the forefront of the British invasion, a cultural phenomenon that saw UK bands conquer the US music scene. The Beatles' unique sound, style, and charisma captivated audiences on both sides of the Atlantic, and their music became a symbol of the changing times. Lennon's acerbic wit and sharp tongue made him a favorite among fans and journalists alike, while his songwriting partnership with McCartney produced some of the most enduring songs in popular music. The release of Please Please Me in 1963 marked the beginning of the Beatles' remarkable run of success, with hits like I Saw Her Standing There and Twist and Shout showcasing their energy and charm. As the band's confidence grew, so did their experimentation, with songs like All My Loving and Don't Bother Me demonstrating a newfound sophistication and depth. Lennon's relationship with Cynthia Powell, whom he married in 1962, had a profound impact on his songwriting and personal life. Songs like Julia and Michelle reflected his love for Cynthia and their young son Julian, while also showcasing his growing interest in poetic and lyrical themes. However, the pressures of fame and touring took a toll on their marriage, and Lennon's increasing dissatisfaction with the constraints of married life would eventually lead to their divorce. The Beatles' decision to stop touring in August 1966, following their final performance at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, marked a significant turning point in their career. Lennon's increasing dissatisfaction with the constraints of live performances and his desire to focus on studio work led to a period of intense creativity and innovation. The release of Revolver on August 5, 1966, featured several songs penned by Lennon, including Eleanor Rigby and She Said, which showcased his growing interest in psychedelic rock and Eastern spirituality. As the Beatles entered the studio to record Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band in December 1966, Lennon's contributions were becoming increasingly central to the band's sound. Songs like A Day in the Life and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds demonstrated his ability to craft surreal and hallucinatory lyrics that explored themes of identity, reality, and social commentary. The album's release on June 1, 1967, marked a major cultural event, as the Beatles' music became a symbol of the countercultural movement and a reflection of the turbulent times in which they lived. Lennon's relationship with Yoko Ono, whom he met in November 1966, had a profound impact on his songwriting and artistic vision. Ono's influence encouraged Lennon to explore more experimental and avant-garde sounds, resulting in songs like Revolution 9 and Happiness is a Warm Gun. The release of The White Album on November 22, 1968, featured several songs penned by Lennon, including Back in the USSR and While My Guitar Gently Weeps, which showcased his growing interest in rock music and his willingness to experiment with new sounds and styles. As the Beatles' career drew to a close, Lennon's songwriting became increasingly introspective and personal. Songs like Julia and Across the Universe reflected his growing interest in Eastern spirituality and his desire to explore more poetic and lyrical themes. The release of Abbey Road on September 26, 1969, marked a major milestone in the Beatles' career as they came together one last time to create a unified and cohesive work that showcased their individual talents and collective genius. The Beatles' final performance, which took place on January 30, 1969, on the rooftop of the Apple Records building in London, marked the end of an era. Lennon's decision to leave the band and pursue a solo career was met with sadness and disappointment from fans around the world. As Lennon walked away from the Beatles, he was filled with a sense of uncertainty and excitement. He knew that he had accomplished something truly remarkable with his bandmates, but he also felt a deep desire to explore new sounds, themes, and ideas. The world was watching, waiting to see what John Lennon would do next. In the years that followed, Lennon would release a string of critically acclaimed and commercially successful albums, including John Lennon Plastic Ono Band, Imagine, and Sometime in New York City. He would become an outspoken advocate for peace and human rights, using his music as a powerful tool for social commentary and change. And he would find love again with Yoko Ono, building a life together that was marked by creativity, passion, and devotion. As John Lennon embarked on his solo career, he continued to push boundaries and challenge societal norms through his music, creating a ripple effect that would be felt for generations to come. His 1971 album, Imagine, is a testament to his unwavering commitment to peace and human rights, with the iconic title track becoming an anthem for unity and equality that resonated deeply with people from all walks of life. The song's message of a world without divisions, where there's no heaven or hell below us, struck a chord in the hearts of listeners, inspiring them to envision a better future. As Lennon once said, "You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one," a sentiment that encapsulates his enduring optimism and vision for a world where love and compassion triumph over hate and fear. The 1970s saw Lennon become an increasingly vocal advocate for peace and human rights, using his platform to raise awareness about issues such as racism, sexism, and war. He was particularly outspoken against the Vietnam War, which he saw as a senseless and brutal conflict that was tearing apart the fabric of society. His music reflected this passion, with songs like Give Peace a Chance and Power to the People, becoming rallying cries for social change. The former, with its simple yet powerful melody and lyrics, became an anthem for anti-war protests around the world, while the latter, with its driving beat and defiant tone, urged people to take control of their lives and demand justice. In 1971, Lennon and his wife Yoko Ono organized the Bed-Ins for Peace, a series of anti-war protests that brought attention to the couple's message of peace and love. The first Bed-In, held in Amsterdam, saw the couple stay in bed for a week, inviting the press and public to join them in their protest against war and violence. The event was a masterstroke of publicity, generating headlines around the world and cementing Lennon's reputation as a passionate advocate for peace. As he lay in bed, surrounded by cameras and microphones, Lennon declared, "We're not just talking about peace, we're talking about love. We're talking about a new way of living." Lennon's personal life also continued to evolve during this period. He and Yoko Ono had a son, Sean, in 1975, and Lennon took on a more domestic role, devoting himself to his family and pursuing a more introspective approach to music. This quieter period saw the release of albums like Rock and Roll and Shaved Fish, which showcased Lennon's continued experimentation with different styles and genres. The former, a nostalgic tribute to the rock and roll music of his youth, featured covers of classic songs by Chuck Berry and Little Richard, while the latter, a compilation of singles and B-sides, demonstrated Lennon's willingness to take risks and push the boundaries of what was possible in popular music. Despite his more subdued public persona during this period, Lennon remained committed to his art and his message. He continued to write and record music that reflected his values and ideals, and he remained a powerful voice for peace and human rights. Tragically, John Lennon's life was cut short on December 8, 1980, when he was shot outside his New York City apartment building by a deranged fan. The news of his death sent shockwaves around the world, with fans and fellow musicians alike mourning the loss of a true original and a champion of peace and love. The outpouring of grief that followed Lennon's death was a testament to the profound impact he had on people's lives. Fans gathered outside his apartment building, holding candles and singing his songs, while musicians and politicians paid tribute to his legacy. As the news spread, people from all walks of life came together to mourn the loss of a man who had inspired them with his music and his message. In the years since his passing, John Lennon's legacy has only continued to grow. He was posthumously inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, both as a solo artist and as a member of the Beatles. His music remains widely popular, with songs like Imagine and Strawberry Fields Forever continuing to inspire new generations of artists and fans. Today, John Lennon is remembered not only for his incredible music, but also for his unwavering commitment to peace, love, and human rights. His message of unity and equality continues to resonate deeply, and his legacy serves as a powerful reminder of the impact that one person can have on the world. That's all for today's Biography with Plutarch. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, remember that understanding the lives of remarkable individuals helps us better understand ourselves.